Why, hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Scouts Tarot, where curiosity and the divine combine. So this is your September reading. Okay. Wow, really? No, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, literally all three of our cards came out at once. So great, fantastic. And I don't read these guys upside down. So yeah, it is a 3-card spread. The energy going into September from August, your energy throughout September, and then your energy going into October. And then we will use 3 oracle decks to clarify, just to add some more insight. All right, so we wasted no time here. So our first card is the 2 of Cups. Oh my goodness. So 2 of Cups, has how I interpret it. This is your like soulmate, twin flame, like deep partnership, which yes, there's definitely a difference between soulmate energy and twin flame energy. But this is that magical coming together of like, you see the couple here and they're like, oh, what do you got in your cup? And you're like, oh, what do you have in your cup? And suddenly you realize like you both feeling what you got in each other's, what you have to bring to the table, right? What you're coming here to share, that you're hoping that what the value that you're bringing is going to match the value that they're bringing. So for you, Capricorn, I feel like the energy coming out of August is you may have found yourself in a fateful match, right? It could be, the person that you've been waiting for, right? 100%. This reading is for Sun, Moon, Rising, and potentially your Venus. If your Venus is in Capricorn, and that's how this read spreads out, or the spread reads out. There we go. But yeah, so I feel like if you're resonating with this so far, with the energy of the 2 of Cups being the energy that is, leaving from August and going into September, where you may have met someone, or the person that you've been talking to had, suddenly your energy is a little bit better. You're like, okay, what else you got in that cup? Okay. Like you may be matching up in that sense. You're like, wow, this is kind of wild, but okay, like it's keep going, right? Who am I to question fate? And apologies in advance if I'm accidentally cutting off the card. I have a tendency to move it out of frame because I get caught up in words and I'm not paying attention necessarily to what you guys may be able to see. But yeah, and if this isn't, with regards to love, and it could be like, a new colleague you started working with, and in the work from home space, or if you are working in an office, or in a store, whatever it is, where it's like either you got like a new project, new colleague, new boss, something like that, and you're like, wow, we're just like really matching up here. Like I don't have any issues, they don't seem to have any issues, he likes my ideas, they like my ideas, she's into what I just pitched, or whatever it is, or we went to lunch and we both happened to bring like salami and Swiss or whatever. Like there's just something that happened in August and you're like, oh damn, okay, let's do it. This is fun. This feels, legit. Like we have a real connection. And then the energy in September and throughout the month is the Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is a major arcana card. This is, like that traditional energy, like relying more so on like the things that are familiar to you, right? The structures that you tend to lean on when you're either questioning something, or you just want to get a second opinion just in case. So it's like those systems around us that we trust and rely on when we are in moments of doubt, or just need some clarity, things like that. So I feel like the energy from August being this faded matching is that you may be like, I might need to pray on this. Like, is this for realsies? Because this feels great. Like, I'm okay. Like, this is good. I'm feeling it. Could this be the thing? I don't know. I need to go and, I need to come to Jesus, Buddha, whoever it is, wherever it is, your higher self, your spirit guides, ancestral spirits, wherever it is that you go to get that like higher reassurance that like, okay, so this is what's happening. Is this the thing? Should I be questioning it? Should I trust it? That where you need to have where you need reassurance or you need some expression of faith, confirmation, that you may turn to those spaces. So yeah, this could very well represent, like, if you're big into tarot and astrology and you're like, okay, I just need to know what is happening here, because if this is legit, like if this is for real, I'm gonna need to double check, because we all learned from our lessons from the past that if we lean into something that feels right, but we're not sure, and we get burned by it later, or we're disappointed later, because, people have, are fallible folks. Like, no one's perfect, right? So not everything will work out the way we hope and want. And sometimes as a result of that, you're burned. And so the next thing that comes to you, like this, another cup happens to come across your path, another project, person, place, thing, whatever it might be, you're like, I don't know, let's double check this. So I'd say, have a little faith and explore, where you get confirmation from, and lean into that. See if you can get those answers throughout September. So maybe it is like, if you meditate and you get like the best messages when you're, in a field with the wind blowing and the sun shining out, a lot. Like, go find that space and, like, present your question to the divine and be, look for those messages of confirmation. It could very well, go to church if that's where, you get confirmation from, especially if you haven't gone in a while. You never know. The good pastor may say something. You'd be like, I know he didn't just say, whatever it is. And that's the universe like, yeah, babe, we got you. We just give you that message you needed to hear. And now we have our energy coming out of September and into October, and it's the Seven of Swords. So this is just like reiterating some of that not necessarily doubt, but definitely like concern that what the messages you feel like you've been getting, the confirmation you may be getting, like, especially if this is like a romantic interest and you're, I kind of like you, and they're like, well, I kind of like you too, or whatever it is, and you're like, can I believe that though? Like, the last time that happens, I don't know. This to me is giving off the energy of like, what happens if I accept this message and this confirmation, and then I look back and, took my shit, or she lied to me and something like that. Like, I think there's the fear and the lack of faith you may experience during the month of September may put you in a space of like, even though you have all these messages are here, all this confirmation is here, that there may be some fear that, someone might swipe it, right? Or maybe swipe isn't the right word, but you may find yourself doubting all these messages because you have. All right, apologies about that, Capricorn. All it takes is like one slight tap of my earphone and it just stops the video dead cold, just like that. But okay, so back to where we were with the Seven of Swords energy. Like, if you, like I said, been burned before, right? It may be difficult to trust any other message that, any confirmation that you might be receiving. And because this is the energy going from September and into October, that it may be warning you to, like, if this is the energy, like if you're picking up that energy of like, this feels like a fated match, but some trigger words here, some red flags are popping up, then don't be afraid to have faith in your gut feelings, right? But this is swords energy, and it is about communication. So you also want to give yourself or your partner space to be like, look, can we just have a conversation? Like, there, it looks like there might be like a fly in your cup. Like, we need to get that shit out. Like, we're not going to partake in each other's cups if there's something off about yours. So let's just, get the little bug out, and if everything's good, then okay, then we can, partake in each other's, emotional value and invest in each other. So that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here, going from August into September and then into October. That this, paired matching, whether again project, person, place, or thing, is, you're feeling it, right? It feels a little too damn good to be true, to be honest. You're like, oh, damn, okay, like everything's looking good. But as you're going through September, you may be, leaning back on some learned lessons, right? Where you may turn, inward, or, talk to someone or get insight from like a reading or something where you're kind of like, Okay, yeah, there are definitely some things that I want to avoid. So you're gonna, reconvene and just go through your checklist of like, okay, what are the things that I don't like? What are the things that I know are painful for me? And just be on the lookout. And if those flags start popping up, instead of, staying in this space of, going into October and being like, like, I don't know if I can trust you. I feel like you hiding something from me. Like, I don't know. I don't think we can do this. Or this project isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. Or this new colleague of mine, like, they brought in some funky fish. Like, I don't think we can be friends no more. Like, before you, just slide away, walk away from it. Maybe, it is, the energy is like, maybe it's time to have that conversation. If you know what the triggers are and the flags are, maybe, it's about being open and communicative. All right, Capricorn. Now we are going to clarify our Two of Cups energy from August into September. And this is the Oracle of the Seven Energies. So let's clear it up a little bit. Here we go. Let's keep this neat. They're really, pretty cards, but they're still a little stiff. They're not necessarily new, they're just very comfortable being this way. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Capricorn going from August into September? Celestial divine. I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Capricorn moving from August into September? Celestial divine. One card, please. Solo uno, por favor. One card. Okay, just... All right, let's try one more time. All right, there we go. All right, so we have exposed and revealed. Ooh, seems powerful. Yeah, let's reverse that. So that's sitting on top. And that is number 21. Come on, one more. We can do it. I shall read from the book. So when you experience shame, you don't just feel like you've done something wrong. You feel like you are wrong, fundamentally flawed. Know that life loves you, and the universe doesn't make junk, only magic. However, many social interactions, especially online, are steeped in distorted, unhealthy ways of expressing pain and shaming. Here is the way out of this. See shame as the heart-wrenching cry for help that it is. Consider whether you could have been triggered in the outer world by unresolved issues that matched all your inner pain points. Weren't we just talking about, we were just talking about triggers, right? With the Hierophant and trying to go over, your checklist of no thank yous. Yeah. Exposed and revealed. So while you may have this powerful connection with another person in a romantic sense, or colleague, whatever it might be, that there may, as you're going into September, you may be like, crap. It felt great in August. What's going on in September, right? So let's continue reading. If someone is shaming you, perhaps you have triggered them. How miserable they must be to expend their energy on such toxicity. They are drinking poison, hoping you will get sick. You cannot love someone out of their shame. You can only show compassion for them, for both of them and yourself. Set a healthy boundary and refuse to fan the flames. Interesting. All right, so maybe that as you're going through your checklist, you may start, again, going into October, you may, come out with your list and be ready to share this with them. And you may, in fact, end up in this space of exposing someone in that negative light and partaking in that shaming energy. So Capricorn, you may want to be mindful that if you're going to try to address it, as you're coming up with your list throughout September, to keep this in mind that you want to bring attention to issues, but you don't want to throw it in their face and be, rub their face in it. You want, that's not the energy you're trying to share here. You have questions, which is valid, right? And you want to make sure that as you're you're finding answers and confirmations, reassurances, or at least you're building up questions to get to this point. You don't want to tip over that other person's cup and be like, yeah, no thanks, because you did all these things. Of course, if it's an unhealthy relationship, then by all means, make that right call for you. This is just to be mindful that as you present your case to them, that you're not necessarily doing it in a stabby, jabby way. It's more like, yeah, you got some things you need to work on, right? Come at it from a healthy space. Maybe they don't realize that they have all these unhealthy habits and or doing things that are damaging to you or to people around them or to the project that you're working on, to the team dynamic, things like that. Like, you may want to give them, have faith that they're not necessarily doing it intentionally, that maybe they're doing it in a way that they don't realize is actually hurting everyone. So look upon shame as an opportunity for growth, evolution, healing, and freedom, right? Admit that this emotion isn't something you have power over and surrender to your higher power. Higher power, Hierophant, there is a sacred quality to the vulnerability inherent in admitting you can't do this alone. When you allow yourself to be laid open in this way, you gain a beautiful new perspective, right? Then the healed shame has the infinite power of the divine to set you free. So, right, that totally lines up with trying to do the right thing. Like, right, most times when people go to church or they're meditating, they're trying to, realign themselves, connect either with a higher spirit, their higher self, the divine, whatever it is, like you're trying to do the right thing. And while you may pick up some, like I said, those red flags, those triggers, that you want to be mindful that as you're going through this process, you're not necessarily doing it from a hurtful space. You want to make sure that if this is that destined match, that fateful connection that you're having here, that you don't, damage it by throwing their cup in their face. Give them a chance to, scoop the fly out, which, oh my God, it's sticking. That's the metaphor analogy, one of the two that we're going for. All right, so now that we have our first oracle, we're going to use Wisdom of the Hidden Realms to find out exactly, just some advice regarding the Hierophant card going into September, or throughout September. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Capricorn throughout the month of September? Celestial Divine. Solo uno card, por favor. Solo uno. Solo. 2 is acceptable. Like, we're real cool with 2. But, 1 would suffice. Spirit. All right, let's see what we're working with here. So I'm in my magic. Spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Capricorn's Hierophant energy throughout the month of September? Celestial Divine. Ooh, powerful. Let's put this guy back over here. So we have the Fire Prince. Yeah, Capricorn, that is intense. And what number are we working with? Number 40. Here we go. Come on. We can do it. One more page. Okay. So when the Fire Prince, let me get the shadow out of here. So when the Fire Prince arrives, he lets you know that he represents the invisible forces behind all manner of manifestation, and he brings you the gift of optimism. You will be rightly inspired to move forward and to take confident and assertive action to reach your goal. All right, so envisioning the path of the highest good with an optimistic outlook, the Fire Prince, oh, come on, little book. You can do it. Oh my God, really? Like, I'm gonna be that stuck? Okay. The Fire Prince also brings you the gift of a miracle, right? A lot of times when people, turn to God, they're praying for a miracle, right? They're looking for that system, that structure that grants, the highest good, guides you to those possibilities, because we know that, through the divine, through God, through the celestial energies, through, these higher powers, anything is possible, right? And you this is a fated match, Capricorn, if this is destiny, you definitely want to make sure you are a meticulous card. If this is like truly that fated love, Capricorn, where you know like the cups are matching up, yeah, there's some dings here or there, but you know that you appreciate the value that they're bringing, and they appreciate the value that you're bringing. You are going it to, you know, this higher space, this higher place, and trying to, you know, get that confirmation. And the Fire Prince is giving you that energy of yeah, this is, you know, it's gonna feel like a miracle, right? It'll feel like things are coming together like magic, right? Like there's no way that this is possible. So when that doubt starts slipping in, you'll likely turn to those spaces where either, you know, meditate, you pray, you look for confirmation through nature, wherever you go to get that you know, reassurance. That is, you know, when the Fire Prince will show up and be like, don't worry, we got this. We know this is crazy, right? It's weird, but when the Fire Prince shows up, like he's igniting the possibility around you. So you be specific in the confirmation that you ask for. Like if you want to see, you know, rainbow lollipops or something, like ask for that as your confirmation. And if you see that, fantastic. You can get, you know, less abstract and be very specific and be like, can this person just call me? Whatever it is that you're looking, you know, whatever will give you that reassurance, present that to the universe and let this Fire Prince deliver, right? Like, please. All right, so let's get our final oracle card for the Seven of Swords. We are using our super attractor card, so it is more like it's tips, advice, a mantra that you can live by as you're guiding from September and going into October. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What tip, advice, or mantra should Capricorn hold on to as they move from September and into October? I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What energy, what tip, advice, or mantra should Capricorn carry as they journey from September into October? Celestial Divine. And I got one card, please. Solo uno, por favor. I'm not asking for a lot. We are very specific in this request. All right, okay, easy. Yes, I only take, you know, cards that flip out, slip out, crash, skid across the table, all those, right? Oh, though please not this table. I have a candle. I'd prefer not to set my apartment on fire. All right, even though the Fire Prince is present, let's not embody that energy fully, right? All right, Celestial Divine, what card do we have for dear Capricorn regarding the Seven of Swords energy, this concern around, you know, someone hiding something, you know, tripping up Capricorn. There's this concern, you know, they're going to lean into their faith. They're going to try to find answers through spiritual confirmation because it does look a little too good to be true. And Capricorn is not a sign that's just going to be like, okay, great, love it. Oh my God, now what? It's going to be like, wait a second. Like, let me see your resume, bruh. Like, let me see some credentials, lady. Like, I'm not, they're not just going to jump. Not until they know that the landing is sturdy, right? That it's stable. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be in that energy of trust and faith when, you know, you made that jump before and perhaps, you know, you tripped on a rock, you skidded a little bit down the side of the mountain. Like, you're not about that life. You're not trying to do that again. You already slipped up. We're not going to take on this new project and then suddenly, you know, everything's going to be fine and dandy. You've got experience under your belt, right? You want to make sure that if you sign on the dotted line, that you're not going to, you know, turn the page over and it's going to be like, oh, by the way, all this other stuff that you probably aren't going to be happy with. Like, you don't want to find yourself in that space. You don't want to feel like you've been duped. And that's fair. Totally fair. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Capricorn as they move through September? Celestial Divine. So normally when the cards take a while to show up, this is generally underlines like the difficulty that might come into play, or the overarching energy that this has been, that's existed in your life regarding, trust, regarding people who've played you, or things not working out the way you thought they were going to work out, or like having the rug pulled out from under you, all these things where it looks one way and now it's another. And sometimes it's hard to find yourself back in a trusting space where you're like, no, I ain't boo-boo the fool. We ain't about to play me, bro. Like, I know this game. Oh, here we go. Oh, and we have 2 cards. All right. So we have, I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. Ooh, wow, look how like similar these are. And instead of worrying about the future, I know all is well when I'm aligned in the moment. Woof. These are heavy, but wow, look how similar these are. That's wild. And they don't all look like this, like it's very different. So the energy going into October is definitely asking you to have not just faith in yourself, but faith in how this makes you feel, right? That yes, it is difficult to trust that the feelings that you're having are legitimate, or the feelings that your person is having is legitimate, or that the project that you're working on, the job that you have, the team that you're on, like, is everything actually like working out? Like, people are meeting their deadlines and getting their stuff in on time, or whatever it is that you're like, wow, it's this is wild. Is this true? That you may start, looking for where things are problematic. And if they pop up, then you need to address it, right? But you want to focus on this energy, right? Like, when I believe I'm worthy of feeling good is like, you deserve to, feel like your project is working, that your relationship is working, that this match is matching up, like, efficiently, effectively, lovingly. Like, you deserve to be, in that moment. Which guides us back to this card of, instead of worrying about the future, right? Instead of worrying about like, oh my God, is this really it? Like, if you keep questioning it, you're going to, worry yourself into madness, like, which is not not an enjoyable space to be in, Capricorn. Like, you enjoy like knowing that things are going to work out. Like most people, you enjoy putting the work into things to make sure that it is the way it's supposed to be. But if you don't have control over the situation, or you're picking up on like, that's a flag, that's an issue, maybe we need to revisit that, ma'am. Like, when those things start popping up, you start creating that worry in your space, and you kind of, lose out on, that good feeling. And when you don't have those good feelings, you start, doubting the value that you're bringing to this match, that you're bringing to this project. So lean into the fact that, yeah, you are worth, not only are you worth this feeling, but you bring value to this project, to this person, place, or thing, right? And instead of worrying about, well, what else is missing, or could this be a problem? Like, just enjoy knowing that you can be in this space, right? And you can lean into your faith and ask the Fire Prince energy, like lean into that energy of like, okay, I just need, if I want to manifest this and I want it to be good, do that work. Because, Capricorn, you're going to put in work. Do that work to address any of those issues. Give that person a chance. Like, don't just like throw it in their face, right? That like shaming energy. Like, don't be rude about it. Like, if they got things to work on, let them know. Give them a chance to work on it, and lean into, these healing spiritual spaces, and ask for that confirmation, because the Fire Prince is ready to deliver these optimistic messages, right? Of like, yeah, we got you. We gonna manifest it. I know it seems crazy, but if you allow the universe to let this play out, give that project, person, place, or thing like an opportunity to show up and do their own work. Like I said, like, scoop that fly out the cup, maybe, wipe the edges off a little bit, like whatever it is they need to do to be ready to match up with you. Give them a chance to do that work. Let them harness that Fire Prince energy. Let them create that space and allow, some opportunity to heal. So when they're doing that work, you'll be able to harness this energy for yourself going into October of knowing that, yeah, you are worthy of feeling good. Give them a chance to do that work, right? And instead of worrying about the what ifs and the potential for failure and all this other stuff, just be in that moment. Be like, wow, man, wow, look at them do the work. This is great. And I have faith that this is going to work out. But all right, Capricorn, that is your September 2021 reading. Again, this is, sun, moon, rising, and Venus, more or less, because Two of Cups energy, fantastic. I do not do personal readings, but if I change that up, I will post on my channel to let you know. And yeah, I shall see you in October.